Yeah, I am back again this morning. Today I'm doing it a little bit early because, as you know, I'm in a journey at this moment. I'm going through a sense of understanding this earth. We are born and we are called. Our mothers claim us as their daughters, and our fathers claim us as their daughters. Some of us we don't know our mothers, even though we have been claimed. Some of us we don't know our parents. Some of us we come in countries that are scattered, that are really misplaced. And the only thing that you need to do as a human being it's to go through this madness of not knowing what's going on, not knowing where you belong, and you do your best to try to belong. And you are also bombarded with the stigma of being an African and being black. And so lots of people don't know. I see yesterday I did a discussion around the Miss Universe, things that people say behind closed doors, and some of these people I know, and they feel like they've got nerves to talk to me about this, and I've seen some things, and I realize it makes you angry. It makes you go into the system of the madness of society, where we have everybody talking about the financials, talking about billionaires, bazillionaires, and ever collecting money, and all this money, it's closed into these warehouses. There are so many warehouses in this world that are built just to keep these finances kept in one place so that people can feel their emptiness by believing that the more we collect, the stronger we are. The more we collect finances and we are rich, and then we build these massive mansions. And this has nothing to do with jealousy or me being confused. It's just the fact that I'm a child of this universe. I've got a right to voice my opinions of what do I think of this world. And people say to me, Carol, you need to heal. Carol, I can never heal. Nobody can never heal in this sick world, because it's a world that it's designed to confuse you, designed to make you as if you don't own anything. Because of some of them, they own so much, and our job is to ever holding on those. On those buildings and clapping your fingers so that you can climb up the ladder. And the more you think you climb the ladder, somebody has already. So it's ever silly competition that has no sense whatsoever. And if you then come after I have raised my concern, and I've got a right to raise my concern. I've got a right to say, as a Black woman, I am beautiful. And if I see a woman who's crowned Miss Universe, I've got a right to say that, because of I know what we are going through. We have been in this world forever. And when you hear the first Miss Universe in this world, you wonder, what the hell is going on? Where were we? Were we hypnotized somewhere where we were not breathing? And suddenly, the world sees the first Black person, and then suddenly the Black person becomes Miss Universe. These are the questions that I have. And I'm not doing this because of racial issues, but I'm doing for this imbalances in society. Society creates mess, and I'm one of those who speaks to the world. I'm very lucky because of I can get to people, and I can get to everyone, from the one who's on the street to the ones who's on top. So this is my discussions today. I've got a right to express myself on how I feel on this world, or in this world, whatever you might call it. So now I'm going to break it through. I'm not ill, not at all. Also, I'm not depressed, but I'm an observer. I observe, and I've traveled countries, and wherever I have been, whoever who have met me, whoever who have talked to me, in whatever world it is where I have been, everything that I do, it's a research of the mind. It's a research of the tongue. It's a research on what people think of me. It's a research what people think of their world. It's a research of what people think of Africa. It's a research of what people think of South Africa, because I am all that. So after I have done research, I collect my data, and I analyze it and try to really, and I don't analyze it to try to judge the world, because who am I to judge the world? I'm a part of the madness myself, somewhere, somehow, probably without me being aware. I do my own scarring of the world because of we living in a world that is scarred. We living in a world that is wounded. So I'm gonna break it down to you a few things that makes me to be who I am. Yes, I'm very spiritual. Yes, I'm very aware. Yes, I care. I care deeply about human race. I care about anyone in this planet. Now, now, having to say that, I'm not gullible. I'm not gullible to what things I see and things I feel, things that are happening to me. Because remember, I am a representative of the race. I represent the race, and I'm representing the race that is Africa, that is blackness. So having to be a representative of this race, I go through lots of things that this race go through, whereby I'm always reminded that I gotta behave certain way because if I'm an African. Don't forget that you're an African. You can't be too free. Don't forget that you're an African. You can't be too celebration, or you can't celebrate life to the core. That's not true. I am, and I remain. I am who I am, and I love living in this world. And there is no other way that I shall be kept in captivity of the mind of the madness of society. I'm not tumbling in that madness. I get out of that madness. But as I get out, I also do research because of I am not here to stay. I'm here to look at the craziness that a human being has created in this world of lack of freedom, of starvation, of making others suffer so that they can become powerful. But bear in mind, none of us we are powerful. None of us we are powerful. We are all in the same vehicle of life. We are all in the same airplane that we call life. We all ride in the same train, even though we think that our so-called post in life has given us a certain awareness. But at the end of the day, you are going to the loo as I go to the loo. You go through pain as I go through pain. You go through disappointment. So a human being laws, it boils down to one law of feelings, emotions, the happenings, and the confusion and the gloriness. And so nothing. I don't see anyone. I'm not one of those who stands in the world and asks who is more powerful in this world. I believe not in that nonsense whatsoever. And I do not believe that I'm stronger than anyone. I do not believe that I own something incredible more than anyone. Because if I do that, I'm just really chasing after a wind. So when you're saying to me, writing posts on Facebook saying that I'm living in a sadness, I have to heal. I'm not living in a sadness. I'm saying it as it is because of often these things aren't spoken about. We African women, we do not speak. We either speak in rage and anger. I'm not speaking in rage and in rage and anger. I'm just expressing the tantrumness that I see in this world. You are all in tantrum, those who are in power, those who think that let's crown the black woman and let's count 4 of the black women in the world and make a big issue out of it. Number 4, Miss America, Miss Teen America, something like that. Miss America, Miss whatever America, and Miss Universe, Black South African. And we're gonna make a big deal out of that. For me, it's none of a big deal whatsoever. Those girls, it's their career and they work very hard for it and they deserve it, but it does not represent me. It does not represent now the fact that there is a fest, so-called fest. I hate the word fest. Why do I have to always being classified as the fest? As if the hard work that I do needs to be put in the world as shame, poor them. Let's give them that and shout it outly around the world to give them. But yet we can also erase the face whenever we want it. It is just tantrum nonsense that we as human beings, we've got better issues for us to deal with. We've got issues of illnesses of the soul. Now, I'm going to name these illnesses of the soul because I am in captivity of those illnesses of the soul myself. And if you meet me, I'm not an angry woman at all, but I am very expressional. I express myself. I do not find myself in fights and in all this. I express myself. And I find sometimes that even the law itself, it wants to keep me in prison by creating mistakes upon me to make me feel as if the life that I live, it's a life that has no sense of how do you say it? I'm not responsible enough. And when they do that, there is nothing you can do because you have nowhere to run because of you are captured in the spider web of the madness of society. So number one, being a South African coming from South Africa, I had somebody saying on this post that I shared yesterday, because dear people, I will always express myself until the day I die. And in my expression, if you take it as a hate, it is your own issue. I do not hate anyone, but I'm sick and tired of the tantrums that I'm always seeing around me. People trying to bully me, people trying to bully the Africans, and they think that we need to accept that. I can accept intelligence. I can accept someone who comes and make me understand something better about the air I breathe. I can celebrate when someone teaches me something that I didn't know. And from that moment, I've got something that will lead me to the rest of my life, because somebody says something within a second. And it's something that I needed for my growth. I really appreciate that. It does not matter who says what, because at the end of the day, everybody in this world, it's my brother, and everybody in this world, it's my sister. What I can never take, it is when someone come to me and enforcively put their energy talking to me, making me to become smaller. And you can feel it when someone comes like that. And at the end of the day, they turn around and say, "Oh, she's a sad one," or "We wish that you get better in your life because of you feel beaten." I'm not beaten up whatsoever. On the other hand, I'm very lucky because I'm well protected in my own environment, because of that's what you need to do in this world. As the world is mad, you need to find ways to protect yourself. And that's what I do. So as the one who comes from South Africa, and this I'm going to put it very clear. So when you say to me, heal, then you can ask yourself, which part does she have to heal? I came from a country whereby from the age 4 years, I used to see my fellow elder people being beaten up every month by so-called apartheid regime, the white man in South Africa. And every month I used to go through that. And then they'll be beaten up, and then they'll take out windows out of our homes, and then we'll sleep in a cold South Africa. As those that have been in South Africa, you would know that South Africa gets cold just as Europe, sometimes even more, whereby when you open the taps are frozen. We have to take boiled water to put upon the tap water outside so that we get water running, because of the tap will be frozen. And of course, after a few minutes of putting that, you will see firstly the frozen water coming out. So imagine living in those conditions, and then really all the windows taken out for days because of the poor men didn't pay the rent. And the poor men didn't pay the rent because of they were minimized towards earning a certain amount of salary that will make them fail, so that so-called the leaders of the world can come and minimize their soul. So you make somebody work for peanuts, and after working for peanuts, you abuse them physically, you abuse them mentally, and their generations, they suffer through the same the same prison mindset. So I'm one of those screaming, me trying to hide myself all the time, and always asking my great grandmom, are they gonna take me? Are they gonna take me? I can even see how my eyes get watered. So when you say I'm wounded, you have to come and remove this frame nonsense that I'm still going through as a human being in this world. The scars that we put human being to, they are very hard to be eliminated, unless if someone comes and asks for forgiveness and really, really healing begins. So what I did then, lucky I was never arrested, But I've seen men, I've seen blood moving, flying from the person to the windows, to the walls of our homes where I grow up. And after the cops had to leave, elderly people had to come and wash that blood away, but knowing that it's going to reoccur again at the end of the month. And this happened since I was 4 years old until I think I was about 10 years old. 6 years of my very, very important time of my year was very traumatizing. And as I thought that was over, it wasn't over at all. Suddenly we started having riots. That was 1983. And I think 1983, 1982, I was about 11 years old. And now we had to go and do this mzabalazo thing where we ran and cops would throw tear gas on us. And you're fighting for something you don't know. But in my view, I was fighting so that the windows wouldn't be taken away, because of, so that the men with their khaki clothes and khaki socks that move from him from his feet towards the knee wouldn't come and terrify us, and men with beards. So when I went in this mzabalazo, I was already scared, trying to stop this thing of the abuse of so your childhood is completely stolen. You do not know how to be a child, not at all. And while you're still looking at the tear gas, suddenly the tear gas tend to be bullets, real bullets, and you see people, your friends dying in front of you, and you're telling me that I need to heal. I need people to understand that we are not coming from the same world. We are coming from different world, and this world, some of us, we're walking in this world trying to put our head high, but we are not healed. And the only thing that can be healed is when you see this nonsense stopping, but the nonsense never stops. It goes on and on and on. Now, coming out from the people being killed, suddenly the young generations of South Africa became so strong, where we needed to fight even more strong, harder, and then they started creating the what do you call that, the petrol bombs, and we are throwing bombs in shops of those who are really not respecting us, and seeing once again some of your fellow friends dying in these shops. So tell me again, when you go out there on Facebook and tell me that I need to heal, what is it that I need to heal? Because I'm still going on in this thing that when you're saying Carol needs to heal, rethink again what the hell you're talking about, because of what I'm carrying and what you are carrying. It's the burden of the madness of the greediness of society, and we are all carrying these pains in our hearts. So don't come with this romantic nonsense of saying you gotta be real or go heal yourself. Yes, women, wake up and see, because while these men were doing these things in the townships, the women in so-called the cities in South Africa were suddenly enjoying life. But how can you enjoy life when others are dying and struggling on the other side? So this is again the madness of motherhood of this world. What are we doing to to be really mothers of the world? And I don't see that. And I'm 48 now. I'm not 4 years old. I'm 48, and I will speak about what is so important to me. And I'm not holding grudges, but I'm saying to you that when I express myself, allow me to express myself, because of lots of people do not feel that they have to express themselves, because of everybody say don't bring the apartheid race. So it's not about apartheid race, it's about the wounds that are not healed. Now, after the petrol bombs, so-called, and then we had the the freedom movement in 1987, I think. And then that free movement, it was not free once again. The killings were still going on. And suddenly, can you imagine how many bodies I have seen in South Africa that were killed? Young men learning to burn people alive with tires so that they can really get their message heard. And of course, finally the message was heard. But the ugliness turning point of this story that I'm saying now is that even though after they have went through so much, the South Africans were humiliated. After they won, they created this so-called papers of theirs, so well polished, so well designed, and saying to them that you have won freedom. Guess what? I was one of the struggle fighters. I've never won freedom. Yes, if I was greedy, I could have won the freedom because I was a part of the insiders. I've been invited to those parliaments of theirs for I don't know, I can't count. I've been around the houses of the ministers. I could have used that to my advantage. But I didn't want that. I wanted to learn what it is to be free human being in this world. Really, really, what does freedom mean? And you know what I saw in South Africa? I saw that freedom had died. Because the same boys who went and fight, including my father who was shot 11 times on his head, yes, he didn't die. He was shot and one of the bullets went to the head. And the bullet that went to the head, actually, that's what saved him. But my father died, still in struggle. 2011, long after the freedom had done. Nobody came and spoke to my father. Nobody came. I never received a letter when I was in South Africa saying, sorry for all that has happened. But we were bombarded with this so-called stupid freedom. So do not come and tell me that I'm angry. Do not come and tell me that, oh, Carol, do not make me feel as if I'm wrong by noticing the reality. And today, I'm around the world because I do not have a home. When I think of South Africa, I think of, where am I going to be in South Africa? Am I ever going to be respected in South Africa? Just yesterday, I was talking to my brother, who has been a part of this so-called new South Africa. The poor boy, he never had a job. And even today, he's still crying to me that I live in the back, I'm renting a room in the back of somebody's home. The young men who are the face of South Africa, they are still struggling today because of the freedom never happened. And then you've got people who are writing around the Facebook telling that, oh, the world is laughing at us. The world is not laughing at you. You are laughing at the Black people, trying to make them feel as if they're losing in South Africa. And the Black leaders in South Africa, including myself, it's time that we gather together with therapy and we speak about what has happened. Because only then, when we speak about what has happened to us, only then will freedom occur. Freedom of walking around Sandton and driving big cars and being able to buy a house from a Jewish man who actually, he will sell it to you for big money and you think you own that house, so you and 10 of your family are okay, but the rest of the country, it's living in shame, whereby the rest of the world come in South Africa and still, so today we've got a new apartheid in South Africa, the shaming of the Black people in South Africa. That they are useless. Oh, look at them, they don't have life. But not realizing that they were brainwashed. They were brainwashed to the world of materialistic. And we are not of the material. We are of the spirit. We are of the connected with Mother Nature. We are of our ancestors. We pray. We chant. We go to rituals. Our spirit is beyond what so-called the world represents. And it's high time that we as Africans, we realize that. So think again. When you're saying, Carol, she's torn apart. Of course I'm torn apart. I went to London. I was told how monkey I was. I was told how shithole my home was by the Blacks who are not born in Africa, who are born outside of Africa. I was told that I was going to be beaten up because of I needed to ask for forgiveness for me capturing some Black people who are living somewhere in the Caribbean and all this. While I'm carrying all this burden within myself, I had to carry the burden of the world. This is what an African person goes through. My business was stolen. You understand? 2011, I lost a business that I fought for from nothing into something, and it was just taken away from me. And I'm still struggling with that. Recently, I did an event in London, Vibrantly African, which was for me to put people together of like me, where we could learn about our spiritual so that we get back into that sense of ritualness to understand who we are. But quickly, my internet was cut off and I had nowhere to run. and I had paid lots of money towards the deposit so that I can make this thing to connect with our people and to connect on a deeper level. Today, what do I have? I've got these contracts where people are sending me every month that I owe that, but I've got videos where these people, they gave me things that were not working, and and I had to cancel my event because I didn't know what to do, as I'm new in the world. Did I have a support whatsoever? No. And I had to get out of London because I felt that I was alone, and it didn't make sense. So as an African woman, wherever you go, it never makes sense because of you are always fighting alone in this world. So this has made us very resilient. So do not mistake my resilientness with being ill. I'm not ill whatsoever. I'm just a circumstances of the madness and emptiness of the world that has chosen me as a representative of the African nations, and I'm talking about the Black as the weak weapon that they can use towards strengthening themselves. So I am not confused. I'm aware of what's going on, and what's going on is that as you think you are harassing me, you are harassing the rest of the world. God has given us an amazing place. We were not born to suffer. We were not born to beg. We are given space. Animals and human beings are given a space to roam around and celebrate life and be. Imagine if we had to plant trees of apples everywhere. Those who are wealthy and multi-billionaires and billionaires and scarring Mother Nature, taking out the diamonds when we need to leave the diamonds under the earth. Your greediness as human race destroys. And so now you are using the little kids, making them so angry to come up with a new song of a human being, global warming nonsense. You are not intelligent. You are stupid as human race. And it's time that you wake up and realize your system that you have created, it's not working. You can collect as much as you want. You can claim the first Miss Black whatsoever, whatever you want, and think that you're in control. But my dear, the only control that you have, it's you when you were born, and what you do around that birth, and you when you exit, which is death. Those are the only thing that has power over humans. The rest, it's just blah, 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 along the line of these two fundamental things in our life, which is death and life and death. And what you do to repair and heal the soul of humans. Because of all of us, we need to heal. So as I am today at the age of 48, I know that I have no home. My home is when I die. That will be my final, the most amazing home that I don't even know what it's made out of. So when you question me, when you try to go into my psyche, you can never reach to my psyche because my psyche is very aware of the madness of the world. Your education, it's the most useless education in this world because it minimizes. I, on the other hand, not knowing my parents, of course, not knowing my mom, not even going into those stupid concentration camps we call your education, had freed me, had made me to see better beyond the society, what the society is dealing with. And I will always speak because I'm an outsider in this system of yours. I'm an outsider because I'm not educated in your system. I got educated by tapping into the powers of the universe and the powers of the madness of society. What goes on beyond the society? You talk about dimensions. I can go to any dimension, anytime, any place. Because I have done the most powerful thing in understanding human connection. I can connect with everyone, any place, anyhow. And because of I'm so, I can, within a blink of an eye, I can be to the most poorest you call home, but the most richest. I can be to the most highest in richness of the human race, yet the poorest. And this, it's me. So do not judge me. Do not mock me. Do not say that I'm not well. Yes, I'm not well. So are you. This is Carol expressing herself. Leave South Africa alone. Do not judge South Africa. The violence that are going in South Africa, it's people who are scarred. It's people who are lied to. It's people who feel that they don't have a home. Can you imagine if you are in your own home, you're cooking, you've got your kids sitting there, but you feel like you're not home because somebody has came and occupy your home right in your home? What would you do? I'm not saying that South Africa is for the blacks only. I'm saying South Africa belongs to everyone who's in South Africa. But to be honest with you, who's doing the most damaging thing in the country today? Go in South Africa. Few are wealthy. The rest of the wealth you see in South Africa are those who even want to get even the little one that the African has. The little one that the African has obtained, they are fighting for it because they do not want to see any African breathe and living freely to have a home. But when you get to Europe, it's very quickly that we are called foreigners that needs to go back to their homes. And you're thinking, do you want us all to die? Okay, death will be probably if your African person gets out of this world. And those who believe that they own the world, probably they will live in happiness. But when you live like that, it's high time that you start meditating yourself and ask yourself, why do you think that you need to live in this world by yourself and enjoy it by yourself? That on its own, it's an illness. And I'm talking from a South African point of view, as a woman who has understood the layers of imbalances in our society. And wherever I go, I see it. So I'm expressional. I'm not ill or I'm not emotional. I'm just stating it as it is. This is Carol Matibula saying, leave my country alone. My country one day will heal. My country one day probably will reach the understanding of healing. My brothers are scarred. My brothers are lost. I see them in their eyes. Yes, there's rapes. Yes, there's all these things. But when I see them in their eyes, I see little boys who are scarred, who are humiliated, and every day getting humiliated by the new system we call democracy. I rather live before democracy was there, under the umbrella of Ubuntu, whereby no one was around us and we live. Yes, we went through our struggles and our problems, but there was a sense of ownership, there was a sense of pride. But this so-called democracy destroyed that pride and wiggle the pendulum to the blacks who think that they've got a glorious lifestyle and forget that glorious lifestyle, we need to remember where we come from. You can never be glory by yourself when you all went through the fight and the struggle of making what South Africa is today. So South Africa, what is South Africa today? So that's the question of today. And I hope that somebody answer, what is South Africa today? Carol Matibula, one love.